Just today, earlier this afternoon, Robbie actually revealed on X that his film, The War on Children, the most watched documentary of the year with 50 million views, has been banned on Amazon for offensive content.
This is what you don't want kids to see, is that correct?
Exactly.
And again, this is depicting children. This is supposed to be kids.
Well, honestly, I didn't even know that transition from female to male was an option until I was on social media and began being exposed to those type of communities.
If anybody, it's lost on you how inappropriate this whole Amazon thing is.
Right.
Amazon has sold child sex dolls before, okay? And we called it out. And Amazon has had to be called out every time they've sold this sick stuff. They have all of this pro-Hamas material available to buy on Amazon. But our movie's offensive.
Welcome to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. We've got more DNC dumpster fire to get to. DNC Night 2. What happened? Well, we're going to tell you. First, we want to thank our sponsor, Cardio Miracle. So Cardio Miracle is my pre-show ritual. I tell you guys this all the time. It's a supplement that you add to your water. I guess you could add it to juice, but why use the extra sugar? And it helps to open your body's healing pathways using nitric oxide. It's 55 of the finest food, plant, and herbal ingredients, best natural flavors in the world. And they've got a 60-day money-back guarantee. So you have nothing to lose. Go to cardiomiracle.com/Sarah. That is, use code Sarah. That is cardiomiracle.com/Sarah. Use code Sarah. Now, I'd like to welcome to the show my friends, Matt Marsden, Blaze TV contributor and actor and producer extraordinaire, along with Jason Buttrell, chief researcher of the Glenn Beck program, who's looking extra young today.
Feels like junior high, right? It really does. No beard, which feels the weirdest.
Yeah.
A little more hair.
It's okay because, I mean, as a female, you know, I get bored with my hair and I'm like, I want to do something different. I want to make a change. It's nice to see that men feel like that too.
I do that all the time. I'm like, I'm just shaving it off.
Yeah.
And then 3 months later, one last time. I'm going to see if I can still grow it out. I'll just keep doing it.
It's okay. It's all right. So I wanted to go through some of the lowlights of Night 2 of the DNC. And I feel like this...
Did Ray Gun show up? I keep expecting it.
Really?
Wouldn't that fit perfectly in this atmosphere?
Yeah.
Ray Gun just shows up and just gives it all she has.
Break dances.
Yeah.
Well, sorry. Break dances, because what she did at the Olympics was not anything like that. So I want to play, actually, let's go ahead and set the scene, because we're talking about an event at a venue where they're building walls and they're requiring IDs to get in. And I've been reliably informed that it's very racist to require IDs in order to do something because Black people are too stupid to know how to get an ID. Not my words, theirs, okay? And also walls are inhumane. And yet they have all of these things happening because they have a certain sector of their own party that has been so radicalized that like they're trying to crash their event. Well, I want to play some of the Hamas rioters who actually like got into one of the, pretty close to got into one of these events. It was actually a Jewish Orthodox event. Watch.
Excuse me.
Nobody can understand you because you're wearing masks. Honey, don't even try to resist.
A big sign saying welcome. Maybe not.
So things are going great over at the DNC event. And I want to I want to get y'all's reaction to the amount of, I mean, they're burning the American flag out in the streets of Chicago. The scene outside the venue is incredible. I know we have Julio Rosas down there, so I'm sure he'll have some footage coming out as well. But it's just incredible to watch these guys eat their own. And I'm not going to lie, I don't hate it.
You're right.
I'm not mad about it.
That's what's so amazing is these are their supporters.
Right.
So they will be voting Dem when the time comes. Like,
well, or will they not show up?
Well, I'm hoping the latter.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like how many of them are not going to be, I mean, call me crazy, but maybe they won't be super passionate about a Harris Walls ticket and just not show up.
Well, who is?
That's what I'm saying.
But I mean, the past 8 years, like who have they voted for? Traditionally Democrats,
right?
Like if they showed up, like this is their people right here.
Sure. Yes.
And now they're forced into admitting that, yeah, a big portion of our voter base or they're akin to Nazis, they're anti-Semites, and everything else. What's even more funny is none of these people look like they have any skin in the game whatsoever. Like they're all like 50 plus, like old white ladies, and they're like freaking out behind their mask and like, what are you even protesting for?
Right.
Do you even know?
Right. No.
Ridiculous.
The answer is no. Matt.
I'm just loving it. I'm just sitting there like, let it carry on. I have no... Oh, no. Please make it stop.
This was Matt during the break. He was going... he was like...
Yeah. I was going to say, you're an actor. You should be better at that. That wasn't believable at all.
No, I was doing my best Tim Waltz. Like...
Okay, actually, now that you mentioned Tim Walz, let's actually go to inside the venue, okay, where Tim Walz and Chuck Schumer. I want to play.
Hip,
oh
right?
My gosh, they're so hip and
so
cool.
way to describe it.
Oh,
Yeah,
they're
so
so
cool.
the Democrats are so, they're not weird, okay.
JD
Y'all are the
Vance
weird
is
ones.
weird.
Y'all are the weird ones. They are totally hip and cool. Proof of that, Tim Walz and Chuck Schumer's entrances to this event last night. Watch.
Governor Tim Walz.
Oh my God, he looks like a gymnast.
Hello, I'm here.
Fabulous! Oh, stop! Oh, stop! Okay, oh, there you are. Hey! I mean, it is ridiculous. Nobody loves Tim Walz that much, not even his own wife. Look at Chuck Schumer.
He's in pain. You can tell his knee is about to give out any second now.
So they were, I'm just going to say, ready for the party. All right. That looks like a jam. I am really sad that I lost my invitation in the mail and didn't get to witness that atrocity in person. And so kind of sets the stage for how cool and hip they were over there at the DNC night 2. And let's play next New Jersey. This is the person that announced New Jersey's delegates. Watch.
My name is Dr. Joey Perella, pronouns she, her, hers. I'm a proud resident of the Garden State. I'm proud to stand with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz because they stand with the LGBTQ community. It's time to turn the page on Trump. Thank you.
Oh, he forgot what he was going to say. And do you love how whenever they look like that, they have to give their pronouns because...
I never would have guessed. I never would have guessed. I was like, who is that beautiful lady?
So feminine looking.
Shock. Yeah.
Wow.
What I love is people are so freaking agonizing. Did any other delegate feel the need to like completely list off whatever the laundry list of like issues of why they support Kamala Harris? Like, no, it's got to be like someone from the LGBT community. They've got to do it. It's got to be, oh, this is why.
Right.
Oh, my God.
That lovely lady.
You know the other piece earlier on where Schumer came on? For those people out there that remember, do you remember Dr. Evil?
Yeah.
Right, when he's like, I'm cool, I'm hip. No, that's what he's like. They're like so super lame.
Yeah, it's the Steve Buscemi meme too. How do you do, fellow kids? hello there, look at me. I can do the Macarena too.
that dude right there reminded me of, I remember there was the Gap Girls in Saturday Night Live back in the day, and Chris Farley is dressed up like a girl, and at the end of it, he goes, "Don't bother me, I'm starving." I was expecting that at any second from that dude. Any second.
Well, speaking of pretending to be a female, Big Mike also spoke last night, and I want to play Michelle Obama talking about, I mean, she's just like, I don't know, painting a really doom and gloom picture of the world, and also maybe saying some of the quiet part out loud here about the coup to boot Biden off of the ticket. Watch.
Until recently, I have mourned the dimming of that hope. And maybe you've experienced the same feelings, that deep pit in my stomach, a palpable sense of dread about the future.
The deep pit in your what? Oh, stomach. So it's like she's talking about this hope that she felt like it was just escaping us. It was getting dimmer and dimmer until now that Kamala Harris is running. And it's like, you guys have been in charge the last 3.5 years. In fact, you guys have been in charge 12 of the last 16 years. 12 of the last 16 years. Why do you think things might not be going so hot? I don't know. Maybe the problem is you. And it was even, I want to play one more here and then I want to get your thoughts on this. It's just so bizarre to me that they're really taking this approach of like, gosh, we thought everything was going really poorly until Kamala came around. Let's listen to the crowd chanting, do something, watch.
What does that even mean? What, do a handstand? Like,
well, they're saying like, do something. We need Kamala. We need you guys. We need you to do something because we are in dire straits here in this country. What's the administration right now?
She could do it right now.
Biden what? Harris?
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's right. But that crowd is probably too stupid to figure that out.
So are their candidates, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, that is so freaking agonizing how they keep talking. Like for Republicans, we see what's coming. Any continuation of the last 3.5 years is very dire straits. Mm-hmm. Now, they're in power now. As you point out, they've only lost power in the last 12 years for 4 years. Yeah. That's it. And pretty much everything that happened was wiped out on day one of Biden's presidency through executive order. Mm-hmm. So they really haven't lost any ground. Right. Like no major bill was passed. Like nothing like, Obamacare was passed during that time. Nothing. So you've had all of this time to do something, and I hate that. Like, what the hell are you even asking for? Like, I couldn't tell if that was watching this video before. I was like, is this a critique? Because nothing has happened over the last 16 years? Is that why they're saying do something? Or is it because that was some kind of, we're going to do something? Like, what the hell? Like what actually are you talking about?
I can't even figure out their messaging.
They're getting scared over like dire straits? What are you talking about? That's where we're at now.
I know. And that's why I'm like, that seems like if you want to talk about how terrible the country is, please keep making that point. Because that's my messaging.
What you did.
Right. That's what I'm talking about too when I'm telling people to go vote for Trump.
Here's what I don't understand about this whole thing. Imagine you have a world-renowned brain surgeon, right? And he's being asked to go and speak at a medical conference. And his wife gets up and starts talking at the conference. You go, What are you doing?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You did not perform the surgery. You are not the expert. Shut your mouth and let's speak to the person that is the expert and who did do the surgery and who is the pioneering brain surgeon. I don't understand why first ladies say anything. Mm-hmm. They weren't voted in. Nobody cares. It was the same thing if you had a plumber
Right.
And the plumber's wife, like, the plumber's under there, like, fixing and the wife, like, leant in like this and started giving to, you'd be like, what are you doing? Like, I'm not addressing you.
Yeah.
The whole thing about first ladies just boggles my mind. Like, okay, go into some charity stuff, shake some hands, make some money, that's it. But don't be getting up there and try and talk like you have anything to contribute, apart from the fact that in this instance that they probably have, the pair of them ran everything over the past, like, gosh knows how many years. What do you say? Because I said the pair of them. Stop it.
You know what? This seems like a great time to take a really quick break, and then we've got more to review when we return. Being told, I thought we were moving that. Patriot Mobile, we're going to thank before we go to break here. So Patriot Mobile, I love the people over at Patriot Mobile. Their CEO, Glenn, not Glenn Beck, Glenn Story. He is like one of the most patriotic, just all around good guys that I've ever met in my entire life. And Patriot Mobile is there for those of you who you are tired of giving your money to woke corporations and you want to give your money to someone who agrees with you, who aligns with your values, and who actually fights with you on the front lines to change things. That is Patriot Mobile. I'm very proud to partner with them. What you're going to get with them when you switch from Big Mobile is you're going to get the same carrier. You're going to get the same network. All the carriers use the same network, okay? So you're going to get the same service, the same network options. You can keep your number. You can get a new one if you want. You can keep your phone. You can get a new one if you want. But the point is that you are supporting a company that supports you and your country. I can't speak today. I watched too much DNC coverage and my brain is dead. So make sure you go check them out. Odds are you're going to save money as well when you go check them out. So there's no reason not to do it. You can go to patriotmobile.com/Sarah, or you can call 972-PATRIOT, but nobody uses their phones anymore for its original intended purpose. Right now, you can get a free month when you use offer code Sarah. It is patriotmobile.com/Sarah. So the main event here was supposed to be Barack Obama, right? And it is very strange to me that they keep pushing like the main event really late. I mean, they're ending this thing extremely late. When we heard Joe Biden, it was 11:30 Central, 12:30 Eastern at night. 12:30 in the morning, technically. And so you're like, what are they doing? Because initially you would think, well, they were trying to push Grandpa Joe into the night where no one was going to hear him. But Barack Obama was speaking at, I think, probably 11 Eastern last night as well. So it's hard to say like why they're doing that. He's supposed to be the headliner, but let's listen to a little bit of what Barack Obama has to say about the government. Sorry, I can't say this with a straight face. Not being corrupt. Watch.
Knows it's easier to play on people's fears and cynicism, always has been. They will tell you that government is inherently corrupt, that sacrifice and generosity are for suckers.
But that's, of course, not true. The government isn't corrupt. What are you talking about? Listen, 91 indictments. What are 34 felony counts? The government's not corrupt. It's not true. Those crazy right-wing nut jobs are just trying to convince you. They're just fear mongers. That's what they are. They're fear mongers.
There's the answer to your question is why they pushed Joe so far out is because he was probably on the phone with the CEO of Burisma at the time and didn't want to be bothered because they were working some great deals for when he's out of office. They're a poster child person right now. Right. The president of the United States is the biggest corrupted politician probably, I would say, in modern history, but maybe in history. Mm-hmm. Just seeing everything that's coming out right now. He's facing an impeachment right now because of it. What was the other dude?
Let's be honest, that's never going to happen.
Yeah, that's never going to happen.
That's never going to happen. The Republicans don't have the balls to do it. Otherwise, they would have.
And his own party, they wouldn't be able to get enough votes anyway.
Well, I'd like to see them at least just go through the motions, just like they did with Trump.
For sure. Yeah, it would never come to fruition. But right. Yeah, by all means, because you've got to stop this ridiculousness now. Mm-hmm. Because can you imagine what it's going to be like after Trump wins? how many different impeachments he's going to have to go through then.
Yeah.
He's going to keep doing it until they're like put in their place. But what was that? Was it Menendez with the gold bars for crying out loud? Like, obviously, the government is corrupt. It is the most corrupt institution in the country, and that includes the mafia. They are the worst. And we all know that. For him to stand up there and try to claim otherwise, I mean, it shows you how corrupt he probably is as well.
Hold on. Are you saying you don't have gold bars stashed in the pockets of your coats in your closet?
Well, I do, but I just didn't think that most people do.
The government's not supposed to. What are they making, $175,000 in Congress? I can do it. They're not supposed to. Matt, your thoughts on Barack?
Well, I think what we're missing a little bit here is that, you said that normally they're very, very good at putting on these events. Right, they're very, very good at doing videos, which is something that I've complained about over and over about our side that we're not good at doing. That's mainly because they point at the bogeyman, the boogeyman, whichever way you want to say it. They point, which was Trump. Look at Trump, look at Trump, look at Trump. Don't look at all our dysfunction. Look at Trump, look at Trump. It is so bad right now for them.
Yeah.
It's so bad. You've got terrible candidates. You've got a terrible economy. You've got the border wall is leaking. I mean, if you stop and really think about how chaotic the country is right now.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
But it's coming home to roost, as you said earlier on, with them. Mm-hmm. So you got people playing up outside, peaceful protesters outside. They're really panicking. And I don't think that they're used to having such an easy ride of things, with everyone just going, okay, whatever, we just wanted you to get into power because we said over and over that all they care about is power. Right? I think that this belies that they are absolutely panicking. They clearly didn't think, which is weird to me because Joe Biden's so bad that they shuffled the deck really quickly after that debate. And they know that they're in trouble. And that's why I think that they are, when you're stretched and you can't be focused on one thing, that's when all this disorganization happens, right? Because they're trying to manage this, manage that, put that fire out, deal with this, can't piss off the Hamas people, how we're going to deal with the squad, and so they're in such chaos.
Right.
That they're not even getting their timing right.
They're missing things. Yeah. Well, so speaking of that, in a way, so as they're putting this whole production on, as they're trying to talk about how they are the ones who need to take control of things as if they aren't already in power, they just had to release, the Biden-Harris administration just had to release revised job numbers showing the U.S. added 818,000 fewer jobs than previously said from March 2023 to March 2024. I mean, they could have been off by 1 million. Could have been worse. They were just only off by 818,000.
Well, some organizations have actually said it might be closer to 1 million. So it's like it's kind of up in the air right now. But I mean, for reals, like, who has not done that before? Like, you're counting bed sheets and you're like 1, 2, 3, 1 million. Like, dang it, I did it again. This how do you even do that? How do you skip from 300 to 1 million? It just goes to show you that everything they're saying about this economy is absolute, complete BS. Yeah. It is total BS. And they know this is probably the biggest Achilles heel they have right now. They've lost a ton of their own followers because people can, and especially people in the middle, they can just say, look, things were better then. Maybe I don't like, the guy that did mean tweets. Maybe I don't like his personality, but things were better then. We had more money back then.
Right.
There's nothing you can do about that. I remember they've been talking a lot about the inflation report, and the big headline, I guess, last week was that, it looks like, inflation was cooling in July, and the Democrats were just really running that, say, boom, see, everything's working. Well, they didn't show you all the other economic data from July. In July, we had it was the second largest deficit in history. The second largest deficit. Oh. You put it out on a chart and it shows that straight up, and there's still 2 months left in this fiscal year, we are reapproaching pandemic level eras of spending. Why? There it is right there. That shows the deficit. What was it? I can't even read it right here. It's like $244 billion or something like that.
Is it, Stephen?
I think it's like 244 billion. But it's like, I mean, why are we spending that much money? It makes no sense.
It is 244.
What the hell? I can see if there's a major war that we're actively engaging in, not a proxy war, but a major war we're fully participating in, or something pandemic-like. Yeah. That we would be like, hey, we're just printing money like crazy. What are we printing money for?
Right.
What are we doing? That is not sustainable. It is all coming down. All coming down. And that is across the board. Every major Western country is having the same exact problem. Every major Western country is approaching like around, like a 100% GDP to deficit ratio. 100%. Most countries are more like 120 to like 140%, something like that.
Yeah.
Why are we spending so much money?
Yeah.
The only place this can go is kaboom. That's it. And they're hiding that fact.
Well, thanks for the good news, Jason. We're about to take a break now so I can go cry and come back. First, we want to thank our sponsor, Flying Ace Spirits. So, where is it? Oh,
right now.
Golly. Go get it. Go get it. I want to show you. Just walk on. Okay. So I brought the whiskey because I wanted to show you guys. Thank you so much. Look at this beautiful, beautiful bottle.
You got to do your modeling thing.
I don't. That's my
You got to do your duck face.
What was that smile?
I can't do it. Wait, here, you do it. You do it. Make sure you check them out. Okay. They are, please. Please. Yeah, show him while I'm talking. It's amazing whiskey. We love it in our house. I'm going to let these guys try it when we can plan accordingly next time and get the glasses out. But what you can do when you are buying Flying Ace Whiskey is you're also supporting their endeavor through Folds of Honor, and they are providing scholarships to families of America's fallen or disabled. And these scholarships are going to allow these families to begin to chart their new course, of course, after experiencing great sacrifice. So it's American made, American proud. Make sure you go to flyingacespirits.com, use code America to get free shipping. That is flyingacespirits.com, promo code America. Robbie Starbuck is up next. Many of you guys watching this program probably are very familiar with Robbie Starbuck. He is a director and producer known for his film The War on Children. He's done a lot of projects, music videos for films like Transformers: The Last Night, the SpongeBob movie, projects for, very A-list celebrities, Natalie Portman, Jamie Foxx, Snoop Dogg, more. And just today, earlier this afternoon, Robbie actually revealed on X that his film, The War on Children, the most watched documentary of the year with 50 million views, has been banned on Amazon for offensive content. Now, I'm sure you won't even believe your eyes when you see what The War on Children is actually about. So I want to talk to Robbie, but let's go ahead and watch the trailer for the film.
Are they intentionally sexualizing our children and stealing their innocence?
I think that's right.
TikTok specifically is designed to target young people. That's who their audience is.
Have children died because of social media?
Absolutely.
Have they been trafficked off of social media?
100%.
Have they been sexually exploited off of social media?
Ongoing, yes.
This is what you don't want kids to see, is that correct?
Exactly.
And again, this is depicting children. This is supposed to be kids.
Well, honestly, I didn't even know that transition from female to male was an option until I was on social media and began being exposed to those type of communities.
Do you feel like this is a war on children?
I know it's a war on children, but like they said, we're coming for your kids.
Yeah.
And they have.
I want to welcome to the show Robbie Starbuck himself, who I'm going to be honest, I brought on to talk about a completely different thing because you are like taking down all of these corporations, woke corporations that we're finding out thanks to you. But I saw that this happened and I really wanted to talk to you about it. Obviously, you guys are exposing major issues with social media, indoctrinating children into, sexually exploiting them, indoctrinating them into all sorts of radical gender ideology. And today you find out Amazon has banned this documentary.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Sarah. I wonder myself if these things are linked. I have kind of spearheaded taking down wokeness at Tractor Supply, John Deere, Harley Davidson, and as a byproduct of the Harley Davidson campaign, we also got DEI taken down at Polaris, which is another motorcycle company, and Indian Motorcycle as well. So, we're going through all this. Mainstream media is looking at what we're doing and kind of like scratching their head. How are these people? It's basically me, my followers, and people like you sounding the alarm on what's going on in corporate America. How are they taking down these policies that the left has worked so hard to erect in every part of corporate America? And so, you got to wonder if there's a link between the two. But obviously, this is very, very concerning because getting a film on Amazon Prime is actually not extremely difficult. If you go on there and look at the quality of the films on there and you really do some digging and searching around, you'll see it is not very difficult to get your movie on there, right? It's kind of like getting your product on Amazon itself. Anybody can do it, really. And it shouldn't be an issue. And there's nothing about our movie that should offend anybody who's sane. But you know what? Even if it was offensive, there's plenty of offensive stuff on Amazon. There's lots of stuff on Amazon Prime that I find personally offensive and disgusting. However, people have the freedom to be able to kind of go look and rent what they want to watch, on the platform. I think it should concern people that a film that has been the most watched of the year and is essentially a film that explains the viewpoint of at least half the country, I would argue more than half the country, is ideologically too offensive for one of the largest companies on the planet to allow people to watch, okay? That doesn't speak well for the future of what people are going to be able to face. It stifles creativity and people being able to go out and tell the truth. Essentially what they want. You can look at whether it's DEI or this move from Amazon today to ban our film. They want ideological conformity. That's what they're working on at every level, is trying to ensure that there is no dissent. That even if you have the thought in your head, that it will quickly be extinguished by you then thinking about what the consequences of that oppositional thought is going to be. So they want you afraid. They want you scared into silence. And that's something that's not going to work on us. We're going to fight back always. It's just in my nature and my spirit. But that is what they want in the end, is a bunch of yes men. They want a country that's too afraid to ever push back, that's subservient to the government, that needs daddy government to take care of them, and as a byproduct of that, shuts up whenever something is wrong.
Yeah, and I just to add to that point, because I think I agree with everything you say, obviously, to add to that point, it makes it so much more disgusting and evil that they are willing to not just overlook what you guys are talking about in your documentary, which is children are dying. Children are being trafficked. Children are being exploited. Children are having their genitals mutilated because of all of these things that are going on. And they're not just turning their heads and not paying attention. They're literally trying to prevent you guys from sounding the alarm on something as evil as this. It's shocking to me that they can. I mean, what else is sold on Amazon? Mein Kampf. Like, you've got all sorts of stuff that you can find on Amazon that I would find far more offensive. Who were the most offensive people that you had on your documentary, Robbie? I would love to know.
I would like to know what was offensive. I mean, in essence, Sarah, they're silencing victims. We have victims of trafficking, of exploitation in the film. And I would go so far as to say this. I think not very many filmmakers would say this or would do this. I have encouraged people, if you do not have money, go ahead and stream my movie illegally, watch it for free. I don't care. In fact, we have posted it for free multiple times for specific weekends for people who can't afford to pay for the rental. We want people to see the movie because it's important information that will help people keep their kids safe, who may not understand the whole picture here and just how dark and deep this goes. And so for a filmmaker to encourage people to go, hey, you know what, actually go rip the movie and watch for free, I'm saying that because I want everybody to be able to see it. And I will even challenge Amazon. They're essentially silencing these victims. And if they understand that what they did is wrong, I will challenge them and put my money where my mouth is. Amazon can show the movie for free for a month, okay? Do it for free. Let people see the other viewpoint. Let them understand that there is a deep, dark problem here. And I hope maybe some of the executives at Amazon sit down and watch the movie, because then maybe they'll ask themselves who they are as a human being. If you can shut down the voices of these people, disagree with me all day long. They can disagree with my viewpoint on the gender ideology stuff in the film. That's the point of a film, of a documentary. People are going to agree, disagree. They're going to talk about an issue. And that's the point. Create a conversation. Let people debate about it. But we presented peer-reviewed evidence. We presented victims. We presented the problem in such a way that they can't ignore it. And so you can disagree with me all day long and my personal takes on this and my opinions that I weave in certain parts of the film, but the facts in the film are undeniable. And so I encourage those executives to sit down and watch the film and then look themselves in the mirror and ask if they can really live with themselves that they're trying to silence those victims.
Yeah. While I have you here, Robbie, and by the way, thank you so much for all of your work with that documentary. It really is so important. I know we know each other because we both work in trying to save kids from being sexualized, and so it's really sad that I even have to say that in 2024. Like, this is how we know each other, but unfortunately, the left has degraded our culture just that much. So while I have you here, though, I do want to hit on this recent Harley-Davidson win. You just keep stacking up the W's, Robbie. So,
well, one thing before we jump to that,
yeah, please.
I want to point out something. If anybody, it's lost on you how inappropriate this whole Amazon thing is. Right. Amazon has sold child sex dolls before, okay? And we called it out. And Amazon has had to be called out every time they've sold this sick stuff. They have all of this pro-Hamas material available to buy on Amazon. But our movie's offensive. Right. Our movie is something people can't buy. That's crazy.
It really is. That's insane. So, is there a place that people can go right now to watch it for free?
They can go to thewaronchildren.com to do the rentals and stuff like
Perfect.
that. It's on thewaronchildren.com to watch it for free. I know it's out there because I've just randomly found links to it before and tried to help people who didn't have the money to do the rental. We make it very cheap on X. If you subscribe for $5 a month, you can see the film and then you can unsubscribe. But that's the easiest, simplest way probably to watch the movie. But it's out there. You know, if people even search on X, I know there's a free one floating around on X that has had like millions of views. So it's not difficult to find if you're looking for a free place to watch it.
Well, I mean, I'd rather them give you the money so that you can continue to do this type of good work. And I would venture to guess, Robbie, as with most of the things that they start banning, you're probably going to get even more views than ever because everyone's going to go, hang on, why in the hell are you trying to tell me that I'm prevented from watching this? Why is this so dangerous that I'm not allowed to hear what these people have to say? I want to know more. So I hope that happens for you guys. But so one quick last question here. So Harley-Davidson was the latest corporation that you exposed with all of their DEI, mumbo jumbo. I mean, it was incredible. I wish we had time to play your clip here, but tell me, like, what were I know they talked about it was the economy, like climate, transforming the economy. Tell me just in a nutshell here, like some of the biggest things initiatives that they were advocating on their website.
Well, they were funding Pride. They came out in support of the so-called Equality Act, which is really a bill that is meant to allow men in women's bathrooms and to take opportunities from our daughters in sports and scholarships and women's spaces. The CEO, Joshin Zeitz, he is the co-founder of the B Team with Richard Branson, which is an organization explicitly set up to spread wokeness throughout global corporations. And so this is a true believer. So out of all the wins we've had, this one's pretty big because we were able to take down this policy at a company with a true believer who was there and has said himself he took the job because he wanted to force this stuff in. And he has called himself the Taliban of sustainability. And sustainability is just a word interchangeable with wokeness. And so this stuff went way down the line. I mean, they were doing almost everything you could possibly conceive of to virtue signal out there that they're woke. And once we got this out there and it was no longer just behind the scenes and the customers got to see what the company actually stood for, it didn't take long for the bikers to run with it. And Sturgis happened right after that. And the Harley booth was a ghost town. In fact, I was surprised by this. Bloomberg admitted that Harley shut down their booth 2 days early. Okay. And Fox News also confirmed that. They shut down their booth 2 days early at Sturgis. It was a wild embarrassment for Harley Davidson. And so really they had no choice. My sources tell me that this decision to turn back on wokeness was actually one that was pushed by the board. So I wouldn't even be surprised if the CEO were to resign at some point in the near future, because he is a true believer. But we're going to continue down this path. We're going one by one through these companies. We've figured out a methodical way to carry out these boycotts to ensure success. And we're now 5 for 3. So I think that our tactic works. 5 for 3 is a damn good batting average. So we've got a plan to go through every company one by one. And we have over 1,000 whistleblowers now. Our biggest problem right now is a good problem to have. We have too many whistleblowers and not enough hands and people to kind of go through it all in a responsible way, because we can't just take volunteers. People have to kind of like be journalistically vetted to make sure they know how to vet the information coming in and make sure that everything's done ethically. And so we're going through that process now of like, okay, how do we scale up here? Because it's obviously not a money-making project. You don't make a lot of money attacking corporations, but it's something that is, I think, deeply important to the future of our country for our kids. Because if we don't stop this now, if they're able to take the companies that rely on conservative consumers and turn them into avenues for wokeness, we are done as a country. Our kids are not going to have a choice. They're going to be forced into ideological conformity or silence. And that's not a country that I want my kids to grow up in. My family already lived in communism once in Cuba. I'm not okay with doing it again here in America. So I'm going to use every resource I personally have to fight this beast and make sure that my kids and grandkids have a different country, one filled with opportunity. I want them to live in the country that put people in outer space, where we believe in excellence again as a country. And that's only going to happen if we tear down this woke mind virus.
Amen, my friend. I'm proud to know you. Thank you so much for all of your hard work, and come back soon.
Thank you. You too. You're a rock star. The stuff you guys are doing down there in Texas is amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. It takes all of us, right? Thank you so
100%.
much, Robbie. We'll see you
I say
soon.
that all the time. It's not just me. People are like, you're proof that one man can do all the...
Yeah,
no, it's not. It's not just... I mean, one man can do a lot. One vote matters a lot. Don't get me wrong. There's been over 1,000 races decided by a tie or one vote. So one person makes a big difference. However, none of this change would be happening if it weren't for all of us. Because people like you have amplified every single one of the things that we've done to call out these companies. And then we've had millions of people, just everyday people, step up, make phone calls, type emails. That is what has gotten the response that we have received from these companies. So can't do it without the people who are getting into action and really taking charge here.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, any whistleblowers out there, you know who to send your tips to. Robbie Starbuck right here. So thank you so much, Robbie. We'll talk to you soon. See ya. All right. So, by the way, I wish I would have thought to tell him this. I was reading his Twitter and there was a headline. It might have been a Blaze headline, and it called him a normalcy advocate. Normalcy advocate Robbie Starbuck. Like, it's a sad world that we're living in you even have to say that these days. All right. So before we go, I want to remind you guys, tomorrow we are doing our DNC roast. We are going to have coverage of the DNC. They're going live at 9 p.m. sharp Eastern. It's going to be commercial free. And, I'm just saying, if you want to hear a roast, I'm sorry, did I say Central? I meant Eastern. 9 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to hear a roast afterwards, I mean, not that there's a lot to roast, just look at that graphic. Look at Hyena Harris, cackling Kamala. I'm sure there's going to be a lot to make fun of them about, and you can join us, Dave Landau, Alex Stein, myself, Stu Bergier, and I don't know, maybe we'll be able to count how many. You know what? Maybe I'll try to drink as many cocktails as Kamala clearly has drank herself. So join us tomorrow night. Coverage starts at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, and we will see you there. Yesterday, RFK Jr.'s running mate, Nicole Shanahan, dropped this bombshell about their campaign's potential future. Watch.
What my gut tells me right now is that we just have to keep being honest. I got to just keep being honest. I got to keep focusing on what matters the most outside of party lines. I need to focus on a vision that goes beyond November. Two options that we're looking at, and One is staying in, forming that new party, but we run the risk of a Kamala Harris and Waltz presidency because we draw votes from Trump, or we draw somehow more votes from Trump, or we walk away right now and join forces with Donald Trump.
Sounded like it pained her to say that. But so she said that yesterday. Fast forward to today, RFK Jr. announced that he will address the nation live on Friday from Phoenix, Arizona, about his path forward. Coincidentally enough, Donald Trump will also be having an event in Phoenix on Friday.
Please let it be true. I hope it's true so badly. This would help a lot. And yeah,
Donald Trump did, by the way, sorry to cut you off. Donald Trump did also say that he would find a place for RFK Jr. in his administration if he does do that.
We had Donald Trump Jr. on radio with Glenn this morning, and Don Jr. said we would love to put him in some capacity in a 3-letter agency. And that's not a direct quote, but close to it, and blow it up. And I was like, he would be amazing at that. I mean, just imagine him at. I can think of
imagine
several
going in the
places.
CIA.
Oh my gosh! Things would be like declassified.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I am not a huge fan of that woman.
No.
She's definitely. I mean, yeah, it pains her because she's no conservative.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like that's how bad it is with Harris Walls that she's no conservative. She probably hates Donald Trump, and she's like, I mean, we might have to endorse him.
But she's said this a couple of different times. I was just reading, it was another platform that she said this on or was alluding to it.
Don't crush my dreams, Jason.
I think it's happening. I really do. I think it's happening. And having RFK Jr., even though I do not like the man, I don't like the man. He's our ally on a couple of things, right? But that's it.
He's bonkers crazy on the rest of them.
But he's bonkers crazy on the rest. But having him pull back a lot of that, because he has a lot of independent support. Having all them come over would be fantastic.
I'll tell you this, Fauci's done if he gets in. I'll tell you that right now. Like, that man is over because he will expose him, which is great. But it really is interesting how they say it risks a Harris Waltz. Risks. That's how bad these people are, that lefties are saying it runs the risk of. I don't think people I mean, people who watch this show know, this is radical. It's a really, really radical ticket. Mm-hmm. And they know it. I mean, that's a big
And I wouldn't call
step.
them moderates.
No, that's what I'm saying. They're
That's
lefties.
to Jason's point. Yeah.
They're lefties, but they're like, these guys are crazy.
Yeah.
I think that there might also be something to RFK has to know that not only are they pushing crazy policies, he also knows they don't believe in them, right? Like, I'm sure RFK does believe in all of the crazy climate stuff. I do believe he actually believes in. And when you hear things like Kamala Harris was circling in her, private jet for Air Force Two or whatever for 15 minutes while Doug was speaking in the air, and you hear all of these things that this administration is doing, that they don't care about the climate. They don't actually care about these things. I'm sure that also drives him nuts. So, all right, we got one more quick story here when we come back. Let's go back to the DNC real quickly. You may recognize
Reagan.
No.
Dang it.
Tell me if you recognize this guy accidentally photobombing a CNN interview.
I saw what she did in the
Chuck Schumer.
Senate. We served together for 4 years. She cared about families. She could work with
Keep
all
an eye on
kinds
that
of people.
red hat
and
there
she was
that you
effective
see.
in getting things done. One of the things she pushed, which we succeeded in, was $35 insulin for senior citizens. Now we're going to get it for everybody.
What's your response when Trump takes credit of that?
Trump takes credit for so many things he doesn't do.
Security's like,
and
come
gets
on.
the blame for a lot of things he does do. He's lost his bearings, as we can see.
Yes, that was, of course, Matt Walsh, who, I don't know, this says he's going undercover. That's not a very good undercover disguise, Matt.
No.
You need a better disguise. Well, I guess he doesn't need a better disguise, because there he was. Right there.
At the end of
look at that. That is
so hilarious.
Fantastic.
At the end of Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure, like he has this one scene where he's in the movie and he keeps looking at the camera. That's exactly what that reminds me of right there.
I need to talk to Matt and ask him how he was able to get in with all of these barriers and requiring IDs. I got to find out. But well done, Matt.
Well done. I
Well
wonder if
done.
Rando Keefe while he was there. He's awesome.